I can guarantee every single one of y'all feels exactly like I do today. And it's one of those, are we living in a Twilight Zone situation? I've talked a lot of shit the last couple weeks about Zohran Mamdani and how there's no way that the people of New York City could possibly be dumb enough to vote for that man, given who he is, his background, his religion, everything else, after what happened in New York City on 9/11. And yet today I am bombarded with, all these X posts and Instagram posts and Facebook posts and YouTube posts of Mamdani wins. He's the next mayor of New York City. Starting January 1st, he takes over. And I keep seeing these and I'm thinking, you have the wrong headlines. Mamdani won starting January 1st. He sets this city on fire. He destroys New York City. They're not titling it for exactly what it should be. It is beyond astounding to me that this actually happened. I would like to point out, before we get into anything that has transpired today after Mamdani has won and now the truth of him comes out, I would like to mention that there were a lot of Democrat wins overnight across the United States of America. And I want to point out why. And I'm sure you guys already know this because you are all very bright and you understand exactly what the Democrats have been doing. But when the Democrats have spent the last, 35 days, I honestly don't know exactly how many days the government has been shut down, but we do know that the government shutdown has been used as a pawn. They use this government shutdown to piss off the people. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. They use it to piss off the people, to lie to the people, and to toy with their emotions so that when it came time to vote on November 4th in these elections, the people that went out to vote kept hearing Republican shutdown, and thinking to themselves, well, if the Republicans are going to shut this down, then we need to vote for Democrats who will open it up. Because the people that are listening to these Democrats call out Republican shutdown aren't smart enough, unfortunately, to realize the Democrats actually hold the power in opening the government back up and have refused to do so. And they claim it's for whatever reason that the Republicans aren't opening, but really it's the Democrats who refuse to open the government because they needed the American people to be looking at politics right now in a very negative towards Republicans way so that these Democrats could win across the board. There were numerous ones that won. There's a mayor that won in Pennsylvania, and I will never understand this, and I don't care what people think of me when I say this, but a transgender person won for a mayor in Pennsylvania, Darlington or someplace like that. A man pretending to be a woman won the mayoral race there. I mean, it goes along the lines of a Muslim Islamist winning in New York City. None of this shit makes sense. None of this shit makes sense. It is like we are living in the upside down, in the Twilight Zone, in whatever, just the batshit crazy land of the United States. It makes absolutely no sense how these people have won. It's like the people that are voting have not been paying attention, or the people that have been paying attention for some reason chose not to vote. But then you realize that a lot of these places, they don't require any sort of voter ID. They don't require that you confirm who you are. They don't require anything. So I want you guys to hear this. This is a clip from a gentleman who went to vote, and I believe this was in man voting yesterday in New York City, tried to show his ID for identification. They refused to accept it, saying they had to follow the manual. And I just want you to hear what he has to say here, if I can get the volume up so y'all can hear it. And of course, he's like secretly recording because that's what you have to do sometimes to prove the truth of what's going on. But listen, see if you can hear this.
You want my ID? How do you know it's me then?
We can look up by menu.
I could just give you a fake name.
We can give you a by menu.
Signature, we check signatures.
Yeah, you're not,
So if you don't check,
not supposed to give your ID.
If you don't check ID, how you gonna know this is our signature?
Manual entry. No worries.
We have the signature on file.
Oh,
Show him when he signs. When he
When you
signs.
say first three letters of your last name?
you got it right.
This
First two
is
letters of your last name?
I gave you my ID. Why don't
I
you
know,
use it?
but just first three letters of your last name, sir.
Shit, you guys making this difficult.
We're not making
DD.
it difficult.
He give
this is the problem. When you don't have to prove who you are, you can say you are anybody. And these people going, oh, well, we'll just check the signature online. if I've seen the signature before, I can fake it, right? You know what I mean? I can give you any name under the sun. None of it makes sense. To not have to show your ID to vote would also kind of sort of explain how so many Democrats won. Also, when any illegal immigrant or whoever else can just walk in and give you a name, my name's John Smith, hi, I'm Betty Sue, and just vote, and they take it. Absolutely ridiculous. But here's what's happened. I need y'all to, this is one of those push your sleeves up because we're about to fight kind of situations. Here's what's happened. I told y'all from day one that Mamdani was full of shit. Sugar, honey, iced tea. He could not do the things that he was promising. And today, now that he has won, he is out making videos letting you know that he cannot do the things that he is promising. And he's also blatantly lying while on the television circuit. So there's a lot of ones that I want to show you here. This one being the very first one. I should show you last night's election win speech where Mamdani came out as an angry, yelling, whatever individual. And you have Van Jones going, oh, that's not the Mamdani we saw on the campaign trail. He did like a switch there. No, the real Mamdani showed up after he won. That's the real Mamdani. The one that led up to the election was that fake shit that he knew he needed to show everybody in order to win. He had to try to look the part. I told y'all in the very beginning of everything, he used to wear that long white dress that Muslim men wear. I don't know what it's called. I don't really care. I don't care how that makes me sound. I don't give a shit. He used to wear his little long white dress and his little loafers or whatever else. When he realized that that was not going to help him with the non-Muslim, non-Islamic section of New York City, he started wearing a suit and a tie so that he looked like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry out there instead of looking like who he actually is, right? And now that that's all said and done, he is going to show you who he truly is. But I want you to hear him lie here. And you guys remember, if you watched it a couple days ago, I spelled out for you. I gave you the facts on what he as a mayor can and cannot do when it comes to taxes, because it relies upon all his campaign promises, rely upon the governor and rely upon the state itself voting yes for these things. And the governor, as dumb as she is and as awful as she is not going to do the things that this man is promising can be done. So I want you to hear what he said this morning after winning. I want you to hear what he said that he was going to be doing. And because you have brain cells, you're going to hear him and go, you can't fucking do that. It's not possible. Listen. If I can get it to work.
Rent freeze, you're talking about free buses, you're talking about free childcare. Can you do that without raising taxes?
I think you can do that, and I think you have to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers who make more than $1 million a year.
Wait, you think you can do that and you think you have to raise taxes? The question was, can you do these things? And he goes, without raising taxes. And he goes, I think you can. And then says, I think you have to raise taxes. Well, which one is it? Do you think you can without raising taxes, or do you know you have to raise taxes? Already, it's one of those talk out both sides of your face with your mouth, whatever kind of things. And people aren't paying attention to the fact that he lies and tells a semi-truth at the exact same time. No, he can't do it without raising taxes. Yes, he has to raise taxes, but he doesn't let you know he can't actually raise the taxes. Listen. Let's just start this over. Let's start it over so you hear it and I won't interrupt it, I promise.
Let's dig into that, because you're talking about a rent freeze, you're talking about free buses, you're talking about free childcare. Can you do that without raising taxes?
I think you can do that, and I think you have to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers who make more than $1 million a year, and you do that by raising taxes by them 2%. And then you also increase the corporate tax of New York State to match that of New Jersey. So that takes us from about 7.25 to about 11.5%, which is what we see in New Jersey. These things together raise about $9 billion, which more than pays for our economic agenda and also starts to Trump-proof our city.
But are you worried that could drive a lot of job creators out of New York?
So what I've heard from a number of business leaders is that the affordability crisis is also affecting their ability to attract and retain talent. The city's inability to provide childcare means that businesses often have to provide stipends for that childcare. Right now, the absence of universal childcare means that a family will pay around $22,500 a year, which is more money than many of them would spend if they sent that same kid to college 18 years later.
Okay, the rest of what he says doesn't really matter. Here's the thing. He's full of shit. He's full of shit. I think you can do it without raising taxes, but then I have to raise taxes. But you do not have the power to do any of the things that you are talking about as the mayor of New York City. Ask any other mayor, because guess what? If it could have been done, they would have done it. It has to be approved by either the state of New York through legislature, or it has to be approved by the governor. Neither of which are going to approve what this man has promised on, because it will destroy New York City. Now, as the mayor, he can come through and make all different kinds of changes that don't have to do with taxes outside of property taxes, which we talked about. And he can let in, oh, I don't know, the Sharia law. He can let in the, everybody stop in the middle of the road to pray 75 times a day, and the blaring sound systems and the whatever else. He can do a lot of things that he did not campaign on, but there's a lot of things he did campaign on that he can't do. And if he does try to do, it's going to ruin the city. So you have that one. All right, let me take this out of the bookmark so we don't mess up. But here's what's absolutely amazing to me. I need you to listen to this man, okay? I need you to listen to this man who has said that he is going to make everything better for the middle class, that he's going to take from the rich and give to the poor. He's basically calling himself Robin Hood at this point. That's what he plans on doing, taxing the shit out of the rich so he can give it to the middle class and the poor. But in order to do that, I need you to hear exactly what he says to the middle class. Please. This is after he has already won, because if he had said this before voting, guess who wouldn't have voted for him? Anybody with half a brain cell that could fucking think for themselves. Listen to him. Listen.
Well, thank you for the question. It's transition2025.com. And, there were a few months ago where I told supporters across the city to stop donating. And today I am asking them to start once again. And I am asking them to do so because of the fact that a transition that can meet the moment of preparing for January 1st is one that will require staff, it will require research, it will require infrastructure. And those are things that we will have to provide. And I'm excited for the fact that it will be funded by the very people who brought us to this point, the working people who have been left behind by the politics of the city. Well, thank you for the question.
Do you understand what that man just said? He says that his staff needs to be funded by the same people that don't have enough money, which is why he was running to help them find ways to get more money by paying less for groceries, less childcare, free buses, all this other stuff. But before he can do any of that, he needs those same people to give them all his money so he can hire a staff to get it started. What? Like, are you kidding me? I don't understand the stupidity of the people that voted for this man. It does not make sense to me. Okay. So in order to get free stuff, he needs money from people that he could then turn around and use to give free stuff. But at that point, the middle class has bought what they're getting for free. How? Okay. What? You know what? It doesn't. It's fine. So then, but wait, there's more, because there's always more. Where is this? There's this guy named Zeke Arkham over on X, and he says, just about every NYPD cop I've spoken to has told me they're putting their papers in to leave. They're not about to stay in a city where the mayor and the people who elected him openly hates them. It's cool, though, when you're getting assaulted, robbed, or raped, or a social worker or a violence interrupter is going to show up and make everything all right. Elections have consequences, and you're about to get a major consequence. This is what I was most worried about for New York City, in all honesty, was the fact that if Mamdani won, which he did, and I still, I don't understand. It's right up there with, is Bigfoot real? Like, it's the never ending question I will never know the answer to. If he was elected, the NYPD, the same one that Mamdani posted forever about defund the police, why would they stay there? You now have a place where the mayor wants to basically let anybody out of jail. He doesn't want to send police officers to go after people committing crimes. He wants to send in, what do they call them? Violence interrupters. So when they were calling in, if they call in for like a mental health issue or whatever else, instead of sending a police officer, because he swears police officers don't know how to deal with people going through mental health issues, he wants to send basically a fucking trained therapist to show up to some, hostage situation where dude is shooting up a grocery store, which happens a lot in New York in general for some reason. If you guys remember Buffalo, when that happened last year, the year before. Either way, instead of sending in police, he wants to send in people who are going to talk to them. That's not how this works. People with mental health issues are generally the ones creating or causing these violent issues. You need the police. And the way that Mamdani has run his entire campaign and everything leading up to it about how the police are basically useless and how he wants to let there be less consequences for criminals, Why would a police officer stay there and put their lives on the line for a mayor who doesn't give a shit about him or them, she, he, whatever, or the city? They're going to leave, especially when you have governors like Ron DeSantis here in Florida who are saying, hey, listen, all you NYPD officers, if you want to leave, then you can come here and work in our police departments in Florida. We'll give you a $5,000 sign-on bonus, and we will respect you and appreciate you here in the state of Florida, because you're going to have a lot of New York police officers who are just going to be like, I'm done with this, and out they go. You already have, what's his name? What is his name? Where is it? I saved it. Hold on. Well, wait, don't go nowhere because I saved it. Yeah, I went too far. The fire chief in New York City put in his resignation this morning. Where are you? I saved it, but I don't know where. Oh, here it is. Jewish FDNY fire commissioner hands in resignation morning after anti-Israel Zoran Mamdani elected NYC mayor. That's the New York Post. So this man, this morning after Mamdani won the election, he said, here's my paper. I'm done. I'm not doing this, because he understands what this win means for the population in New York City in and of itself. Not to mention the Jewish population, but all the population in New York City. It's not going to be good. Look, Eric Adams, previous mayor of New York City. Let me play to you what he said if I can get it to work. Hold on. Work. Listen, this is what he had to say.
And so the only message I can give to New York is, as I go to the next leg of my journey, I'm leaving you a good city. Don't fuck it up.
I mean, and unfortunately, that's exactly what they did. They voted Mamdani in, who's going to fuck it up. There's no way that man is going to do anything good for the city of New York. He has never held any sort of position ever in politics, and he somehow is the mayor. Bernie Sanders posted about it. He goes, the man who started off with a 1% chance somehow won the mayoral race in New York City. And it's not somehow, it's because they pushed it so hard. They never put Sliwa, that's his name, right? The Republican guy. They never made any kind of posts or publications about him. They never pushed him. It was always between Cuomo and Mamdani, and people weren't going to vote for Cuomo because he was labeled as an independent, number one, but also because they don't like him because, it's Cuomo. It makes sense, right? So a lot of people are probably out there going, the lesser of two evils, not realizing that Mamdani is the greatest of two evils. Even if you didn't like Cuomo, at least he's not going to turn your city into a jihadist Sharia law, like dumpster fire. I cannot understand. But they did say that the majority of people, and this is what the Democrats were hoping for, the majority of people that showed up to vote were under 30 years old. I don't know where they got the numbers from, but this is what I've seen on a couple news outlets, that the majority of people who showed up to vote for New York City mayor are under 30 years old. But a lot of younger crowds live in New York City, so it makes sense to me, right? But you have these under 30s who are being convinced that they're going to get stuff for free. New York's an expensive place to live in, which they knew when they moved there. And they know if they live there their whole lives, they still know how expensive it is. But when you're dangling a free carrot in front of somebody, they're going to do whatever they have to do to get it. And these people voted for a man who campaigned on free. And then right at the end goes, I didn't say free groceries. What I meant was discounted groceries. No, but you said free. Oh, well, free buses. But it can't be fully free. I need you middle class people to help fund it. If you could just give me some money now at whatever that website was that he's now started for people to send him money, when he's like, free childcare. Okay, cool, free childcare. But the businesses are then going to have to pay for that. So then you're going to get paid less because now they're going to have to pay for the childcare. It's going to be an absolute shit show in New York City, and the dumbasses voted for it. Hello. This is what's killed me, y'all. There's so much I can show you. Look, I'm not even going to go back to the computer. There's way too much here. We can do that tomorrow. I just want to talk. Okay. The same people who are screaming about how President Trump is going to take away all the women's rights. You have what's her name, Sunny Hostin on The View, and all those cackling, I don't even know what to call them. What do you call them? Hags? There we go. Those hags are on The View all the time talking about how President Trump's taking away women's rights. And so I think it was Sunny Hostin who said that her daughter has less rights than she did growing up. And I'm like, bitch, where? Where did Trump take away any women's rights? Please tell me one place where he has taken away any women's rights. And before anybody out there, I know not y'all, but other people, because sometimes leftists like to watch my videos so they can try to shit on me in the comments, but I don't care because y'all sound stupid. They're going to come out, the Trump abortion ban. I still like to remind everybody that the overturn of Roe v. Wade happened during the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administration with the same Supreme Court justices that were put there by Obama, and yes, some by Trump, but the amount that Trump had on there were not enough to overturn Roe v. Wade, which meant some of Obama's justices, or whatever they're called, had to have voted also to overturn Roe v. Wade, meaning Democrats during the Joe Biden administration are the ones who overturned Roe v. Wade, and there went your abortions. All right, so there's that. Where was I? Oh, taking away women's rights. And then you go and vote in a man whose entire religion is based on shitting on women, taking away any rights from women, treating women like, I mean, worse than a dog, basically. And that's what you decided to vote for? The one who will or can actually take away women's rights? Oh, it's just, how did we get here? Is it because the schools don't teach the way they used to? Is it because parents don't parent the way they used to? Is it because social media? I mean, it's a yes to all of it. It's 100% a yes to all of it. I can look back on my childhood and see where things have changed. My mom can look back on her childhood and see where they changed from hers to mine, and then from mine to my daughters, and see a massive gap in whatever. We're talking about butter, y'all. We were talking about butter a couple of days ago, and I was talking about how I get the organic butter at either Whole Foods or Publix, whatever, the organic unsalted butter. I just like the way it tastes better. And my mother-in-law said that, who was it? Somebody said they buy the Country Crock churned butter. And my mom goes, I remember when I used to churn butter. Like that was the only way to get butter, was we made the butter. Now everybody's getting it in the grocery stores. And I'm thinking to myself, it's true. Like things have changed in so many different aspects from the time, my mom, who will be 75 in a couple months, from her childhood to my daughter's childhood, the amount that we now rely on everything and everybody else as opposed to ourselves. But we now rely heavily on this shit right here: computers, cell phones, social media, electronics, technology, AI, all that other stuff. That's what's destroying this country, because you have the ability, and people say it all the time, just because you can post doesn't mean you should, or whatever. Anybody has a voice on social media. People will look at me and go, I can't believe that batshit lady has a voice on social media. I get it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's fine. I don't like a lot of people either. But the problem is everybody can have a voice on social media. So when you have the Chuck Schumers, and you have the Elizabeth Warrens, and you have the Bernie Sanderses and the Hakeem Jeffries and the Mamdanis out there posting just blatant lie after lie after lie after lie, you have people who are seeing them, hearing them, reading them, not realizing that anybody can post anything. There's nobody out there checking to make sure that you're not lying through your teeth when you put stuff out on social media. So they're seeing all this stuff and they're just eating it up like it's truth and knowledge and whatever else. And our entire country is being dumbed down because of it. Y'all, it's a very sad day for New York City. It's a very sad day for New York City. I saw a post where this woman said that she is a post of her urn with her mother's ashes. And technically it's not her mother's ashes, because she said that they never found her mother's body. So she put some of the ashes from the World Trade Center into this urn, because somewhere in that rubble was where her mother died. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can you even imagine being in that situation? Do not cry. Stop it. Please hold. I'm way too emotional. I don't know. Anyway, can you imagine being in that situation and then watching the same city elect Mamdani as your mayor? But when they say under 30, they don't remember the absolute terror and horror behind 9/11. We've talked about before. I remember exactly where I was standing when 9/11 happened. I remember watching it happen. And whether you believe it happened the way it did or not, those people died. Whether you believe, our government did it, or the Muslims did it, or the jihadists did it, or the terrorists, whatever you want to believe, our men and women died. And we watched it happen live on TV, and it fucked up a lot of people. And for some reason, those people didn't go out and vote in New York City, because if they had, Mamdani would not have won. So there's that. Listen, now I'm mad. So many emotions today with everything that's going on. We will woosah. I apologize, but swearing helps. Might not help you, but it sure as shit helps me. That's that. For now, that's that, y'all. I love y'all immensely. We could do a lot more. We'll do more tomorrow when I'm in a better mind frame of it. Because right now, I can't decide if I'm more pissed or sad or outraged, actually, is better than pissed, or the confusion. It does not make sense to me. Trans mayors, Muslim mayors, just, anyway, that's all. That's all. I love y'all. Please let me know your thoughts. I want to know all of them in the comment section below, please. That is all. Goodbye.